Montreal isn't supposed to be quiet about anything, especially hockey, yet the loudest roster overhaul of the summer just happened almost in a whisper. No flashy press conference, no all-caps headline, just a silent message that echoed through 31 other front offices. The Canadiens are done rebuilding and they're coming for blood. When a 25-year-old, 6'4", 70-point defenseman tells his current club, "Move me to Montreal, I'll even sign for less," you know something seismic is brewing. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how Noah Dobson, Ivan Demidov, a Calder-winning prodigy, and a battalion of prospects have turned last decade's punchline into the NHL's next nightmare. And, spoiler alert, it's happening faster than anyone outside Quebec is ready for. Until 3 days ago, Noah Dobson looked like the cornerstone of the New York Islanders. Contract talks stalled, whispers of a trade grew, and then Kent Hughes pounced, shipping the 16th and 17th picks plus Emil Heineman to Long Island and handing Dobson an 8-year, $76 million extension on the spot. Why does this move hit different from the usual "team acquires good player" headline? First, Dobson's skill set checks every modern defense box: elite first pass, power play quarterback instincts, and shot suppression that doesn't rely on living in the box. Second, the age curve math is perfect. His deal walks him through 25 to 32, exactly when most defensemen stack Norris votes. Third, the message: he chose Montreal. Reports confirm he left more lucrative options to join a roster that's still technically outside the playoff picture. That kind of voluntary pay cut only happens when players believe a core is poised to explode. Hughes bought more than a defenseman. He bought league-wide credibility. As for fit, Dobson instantly becomes the right shot anchor the Canadiens lacked. Picture breakouts where he threads a 120-foot laser to Cole Caulfield curling at the far blue line, or cross-seam passes that let Demidov dust a helpless defender 5 feet from the crease. Dobson is the switch that powers the whole circuit board. Without him, the lights dim. With him, they blind. But if Dobson is the circuit breaker, wait until you see the live wire playing on his opposite flank. Lane Hutson just skated away with 165 of 191 first-place votes for the Calder, tying Larry Murphy's rookie assist record and posting the third fastest top speed among NHL blue liners at 23.77 miles per hour. The numbers are crazy enough. The eye test is wilder. Hutson plays like the offensive avatar fans dreamed Bobby Orr would be if he grew up on TikTok highlight reels. Edge work so sharp it could shave ice sculptures. Deception that turns forecheckers into pylons. Yet Hutson's one vulnerability was obvious. At 5'10", he needed a safety net behind him when rush plays reversed. Enter Dobson, a rangy right shot partner who can erase odd man rushes and still feed Hutson for instant re-attacks. Analytics labs are buzzing. Early models project a combined XGF percent north of 57% if Martin St. Louis keeps them together, territory usually reserved for the Hughes-Hronek or Makar-Toews pairings. There's a chance the coaching staff splits them to balance the pairs, but every fan in Bell Center will be chanting for a trial run. Either way, Montreal suddenly has 2 first-pair caliber defenders under 26, each with a completely different superpower. Thunder meets lightning, scorekeepers meet carpal tunnel syndrome. And if you think 2 pillars are enough, you haven't looked behind them. Dobson and Hutson sit at the top of the pyramid, but the foundation is almost as scary. Caden Gooley continues to mature into a shutdown monster who skates like a winger and hits like a train. David Reinbacher, barely 20, already looks NHL ready after an AHL season where he broke up entries at the league's second highest rate among U22 blue liners. Logan Malou and Arbor Shekaj add the mean streak. Shekaj's open ice collisions went viral last season, and Mayu's point shot routinely flirts with triple digits on the radar gun. Depth battles will be ruthless. Prospects Adam Engstrom, William Trudeau, and first-rounder Bogdan Konyushkov haven't even sniffed this conversation, yet each could crack lesser NHL lineups tomorrow. That redundancy gives Hughes 2 luxuries at once: internal injury insurance and trade chips for whatever hole pops up front. In other words, Montreal can afford to miss on a free agent target because they can flip surplus defenders for immediate help. The scariest part, everyone named so far is 25 or younger. The Canadiens aren't building a blue line, they're welding armor onto a tank still rolling off the assembly line. But a modern tank needs fire control. Let's head up ice. If Noah Dobson's arrival answered how the puck gets up the ice, Ivan Demidov's arrival answers what on earth happens once it's there. Freed from his KHL contract after a record-breaking 49-point U20 season, Demidov slid straight into the Habs' top 6 this spring. Demidov joins a core already flush with weapons: Nick Suzuki's two-way IQ, Cole Caulfield's one-timer that breaks microphones, Juraj Slavkovsky's power wing dominance, Kirby Dach's net drives. Slot Demidov next to Suzuki and watch his east-west creativity unlock a new layer to Caulfield's game. Slide him onto a second line with Dach and Slavkovsky, and coaches have a 6'4", 215-pound cycle machine flanked by a magician. Advanced shot quality models project the Habs to jump from 19th in 5-on-5 offense to top 10 just by adding Demidov's 1.77 primary points per 60 KHL rate. That's before considering natural growth curves for Caulfield, 24, and Slavkovsky, 21. And right behind that top 6 is a cavalry you probably haven't heard enough about. Day 2 of the 2025 draft looked routine until Hughes packaged mid-second picks to grab Russian winger Alexander Zhuravsky at number 34, a player multiple teams had mocked in the mid-20s. Scouts rave about his inside lane drive and deceptive release. Think a less explosive but more cerebral Artemi Panarin. Hayden Paupanekis, plucked at 69, captained Kelowna and already logs all situations minutes, while Bryce Pickford, 81, brings the kind of sandpaper that St. Louis covets. Radko Cournoyer, yes, another goalie named Cournoyer in Montreal, adds crease kung fu at 82. LJ Mooney is pocket-sized but slippery, the sort of low-risk, high-skill lottery ticket Hughes keeps buying because one Caulfield success changes public opinion for a generation. In Laval, Joshua Roy, Owen Beck, and Oliver Kapanen terrorized a veteran-heavy AHL playoff series. Roy's release is NHL-ready, Beck wins draws like a 10-year vet, and Kapanen just broke the Rockets' rookie playoff scoring record. The bottom line, top 6 firepower won't dry up when current stars need extensions. The factory line is still humming, prospects are nice, but culture glues everything together. Dobson's decision to leave money on Long Island to chase a future in Montreal is more than an isolated case. Insiders say agents have started asking Kent Hughes to keep us in mind for their clients. And the rumor mill is spinning. Pierre LeBrun confirms the Canadiens are among the most aggressive suitors for St. Louis winger Jordan Kyrou before his no-trade clause kicks in on July 1st. Why the allure? Start with Martin St. Louis, whose communication style gets described by players as TED Talk meets locker room banter. Add a fresh practice facility, a sports science department that rivals Toronto's, and, crucially, cap flexibility. Even after the Dobson extension, Montreal projects roughly $13 million in space next summer, with only mid-tier RFAs to sign. That room lets Hughes pounce when a star becomes available, or front-load an extension to lock young talent early. Suddenly, taking less money to play under the Bell Center banners doesn't feel like charity. It feels like investing in a ring, but dreams don't win cups. Timelines do. Circle October 9th, 2025. Demidov's first official opening night, Dobson's Bell Center debut, Hudson's sophomore surge, and a roster that returns 88% of its 5-on-5 minutes. The internal goal is simple: turn the 93 points posted last season into 100 and a no-doubt playoff berth. Year 2 of the plan, 2026 to 2027, is when the window swings open. Hudson's ELC will still be active, Demidov's cap hit stays under $1 million, and Dobson swims in his prime. Prospects like Reinbacher and Zhuravsky should be on sub-$900,000 deals, leaving Montreal free to add a heavyweight rental without stripping the roster. If Kyrou or any equivalent top-line piece arrives before then, the timeline compresses even further. By that point, every opponent will have to decide: focus on shutting down a perimeter sniper line, or survive a slapshot barrage from a blue line that plays like a power play at even strength. Which brings us to the last piece you came for. The Canadiens spent 4 seasons stockpiling talent, 2 seasons teaching it how to win, and 1 stealth summer stitching everything together. Noah Dobson transforms their Achilles heel into a battering ram. Lane Hutson provides the chaos, Kaiden Guhle the muscle, Ivan Demidov the sorcery, and a wave of prospects the endless reinforcements. Add a front office that still owns a surplus of picks and cap room, and you don't just get a better Montreal, you get the one rival GMs hoped would need at least another year to finish cooking. That clock just fast forwarded. The rest of the league heard a whisper. By Christmas, they'll feel the roar. If you're not already strapped in, hit subscribe so you don't miss the ride, because the next chapter drops the moment Kent Hughes pulls the trigger on his next surprise.